go sit in her doctor's office and wait for hours to see her. Constantly be checking how many pills I had left and when did I need to go back to see her again.
If I felt guilt or shame or anything, I smoked it away or shot it away, and then I had other primary focuses that weren't being a dad, you know?
And I always thought I would eventually, I'll find another alternative or I'll figure something out.
I was definitely off the deep end then and had accepted that I was gonna be on drugs forever. It's like never quitting this stuff.
How many times were you shooting?
Probably about every 4 hours, every 3-4 hours.
I probably didn't look in the mirror for years. Just, you don't wanna look at yourself.
Lived every day waiting for a phone call to find out that something had happened to him.
And I said, I'm prepared for his death. And he said, Mom, you can't think like that. And I said, no, I have to be.
This documentary is dedicated to the millions living in recovery and those ready to begin your journey.
Growing up in Boulder City, it was kind of a boring town, so you had to get into something, so I rode BMX with all my friends. The neighbor had a quarter pipe and he let me have it, and I put it in my backyard, and over time it like slowly built into like a pretty big skate park in the backyard, so I had like a pretty cool place to ride growing up. By the time I was in high school, I was in a magazine already.
Kyle, everybody's like, he's gonna be like the best for a while, and then he just disappears. When he was down that path, nobody got to see him ride a bike anymore.
A lot of it I didn't see in the beginning. I didn't kind of know. I was a little naive, and then it got to the point it got, and then we didn't really see Ryan.
You get hurt almost every day riding your bike. And like when you have a sustained injury and you have like pills prescribed to you, you take them and then you go ride, and like you're doing that every day, and then eventually you kind of have to take the pill to be in the mindset to ride. I wasn't thinking I have a problem, I need to get off these pills. I was like, I have a problem, I need to get more pills. In your head, you're thinking, well, it's not heroin, so I'm not that bad off. Eventually, you're just hanging around the wrong people. But then the day comes where you're like, okay, I have nothing and no money, and this guy's offering me heroin, so I'm just gonna try it this one time and see how it is.
Every time the phone rang, you'd think this is the call. And you know how many calls that you get that are just nothing calls, but your heart sinks every time the phone rang.
I think my mom called me and was like, oh, Travis is having a baby. And I was like, oh, can I come to the hospital? And she's like, oh, no, they don't want you here. And I just remember I wanted to die, and I remember just getting up and just walking really far, just in the middle of the road, just like waiting to get hit. I was sober in jail for 6 months. I got out, they house arrested me, and at some point I was like getting ready to cut the house arrest monitor off my leg, just as one of my friends from the streets walks in the house I was in and telling me, don't do that, you need to show us that you can do it, so you can be an inspiration to all of us and that we can get off this stuff. That moment was the moment where my mind kind of flipped. That's when I cut ties from everybody I knew on the street, and just like really started to kind of work the program. I work for the Overdose Data to Action. Hello. I'm the prevention coordinator and the peer support specialist. Like the stuff like we're gonna do with Jessica, I do that in my own time. Like it's not like something I'm paid to do. It's super important to me because we went to that Christian center together, so it just goes back pretty far. And I know she's doing the same stuff I'm doing. She was doing it when I was doing it, and hasn't been able to get off of it.
Things that I have questions about, like, Ryan, how did you do this when you got sober? He's got an answer, a sound answer for everything too. Like it's like something, because he's been through it, and that is invaluable to me.
Like you could buy every excuse in the world, but it's never, you know, like saying it never, this time is not the right time, but it's never gonna feel like the right time. I know that what it comes down to me is, like Ryan said, the impending things that are out there for you, if you continue to use, or you'll end up in an institution, jail, or death. They're guaranteed, you know, if you keep going down this path. And I know that, and I don't want that. And so, you know, sooner than later, so.
Because I know she wants to get clean, but she has that fear of the withdrawal, and I try and, you know, just offer her support whenever she's ready. That's crucial. Like I think whatever it is you're doing, like find something else that you love to do, art, or be creative, or go join a book club or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like as long as like it's positive, then you got a good head start. I just like decided to throw a jam and just put a little flyer up on Facebook and come ride type of thing. And it's in a month, and it's gonna be pretty big.
At first, you're cautiously optimistic because you hear so many people that relapse and they're back at it again. It was a huge relief when I could hear him say that he was really done.
Sort of peaceful to be able to not worry about that part of it.
My brain was like sober enough at that point to see the benefits, and my brother just had a baby, and I wasn't like allowed to be around it, so I wanted to be around, you know, my niece.
He wanted to be a part of my children's life. He wanted to be an uncle, you know, and I didn't want him around. I didn't want him because I didn't want to bring that into my family where I was at, and so to be able to have him back, that's pretty good.
Seeing someone come back from that dark path that a lot of people don't, it's pretty special. I feel that everyone's got a plan for their life. You know, sometimes the darkness gets in the way, but Ryan's come through that like full circle now. So he's on to bigger and better things.
You very seldomly see someone have like that trajectory of a career where he's like one of the first dudes on Monster, and then, you know, going through what he did and like sleeping in tunnels. He's like living his swan song now. Like, look at this, it's crazy. There's like so many people here for him.
I think Sober Jam shows that his family's here and we're all in his corner, and when somebody needs something, we're gonna get behind it.
The park is filled completely, so it's like so touching to me that so many people showed up for me, and it makes me stay stronger in my sobriety. I've had, you know, probably 50 people come up to me today and just be like, man, you're such an inspiration. I'm so glad you did this. Thanks for throwing this. And like, I don't know, it's just heartwarming, I guess. I got a tattoo today, 5-year sober tattoo. So in the next 5 years, I'm gonna do another one. I know what it's like to not have freedom. I've been in jail. There's no freedom there. Been addicted to drugs. There's no freedom there. You're just in a box in all these places. And now that I'm out of that and I can roam freely, it's the best feeling in the world. Something about that is how it's supposed to be.
My name is Jamie Peterson Ayub, and I have been clean for 20 years.
I'm Ryan Mills, and I'm 5 years sober.
My name is Grant Denton, and I've been clean for 6.5 years.
I just celebrated 20 years sober.
Hit 2 years sober this Saturday.
2 years, 7 months, and 1 day clean.
For 3 years and 4 months.
Celebrated 3 years.
2 years. For almost 9 years.
36 years clean.
For 11 years.
7.5 years.
2.5 years. 14 months.
For 19.5 years.
Good, how are you? I'm Jessica and I have 49 days. A dear friend who really was always out trying to get me here was sat here right before me, and that meant the world. This is somebody that I have known pretty much my whole life, and to see us both here now, this seat means everything to me. It means my life.
Recovery is absolutely worth it. And once you make that decision, everything changes. How you see things, there's a paradigm shift that's going to happen within you.
You just have to try it and give it a go. People start to care less about your past the further you get away from it.
Oh yeah, it's totally worth it. Everything that addiction took away from me in my life, I now have it back tenfold.
You can live a life without drugs and be happier than you've ever been in your life. It's possible. It's more than possible.
The process is a very hard one, but in the end, the hard work you put in actually helps.
Start where you're at and just put one foot in front of the other, and eventually, if you do the work, sobriety and recovery will follow.
Once you start to change who you are and what you're about inside, you start to attract different people. People are very, very supportive of you.
It means that I get to be a mom, and it means I get to be a good friend and a good daughter, a good sister, and a good person.
This seat represents recovery, it represents hope.
And I invite you to join us, one of 23 million people in the U.S.
Come and take a seat.
I encourage you to come forward.
Come sit in this chair and tell me your story.